And we're live. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, where depending where you are in the world. Your host, Andre Parody. I'm your relationship coach, your NLP coach, neuro linguistic programming. This is how I release the trauma from your past, how we clean your nervous system to get you in a healthy relationship. You must clean the baggage from the past. That's NLP work. Uh, I'm also an educator of effective communication strategies. That's a good mouthful, but communication is the thing that all of us struggle the most with in love dynamics and personal relationships, family relationships, work relationships, right? Communications, because people think communications is about the words that you're using, and there are tools, absolutely, and there's scripts even that I have that I share with my clients in order to use their communications. Because most of the time, people men and women communicate differently in the first place. It sounds ridiculous, but what men say, you don't hear what he's saying necessarily. And when women speak, there's a veil that men miss. So it's interesting and it's fascinating and it sounds ridiculous, but it's factual. So to have scripts to be able to communicate in the way that the other one understands is key. Um, and you know you're not communicating if you think you're communicating and you're not getting the results, right? This is when you know you're not communicating or that you're failing at that because you think you're being clear and somehow you're not getting the results. So you're not. And again, it's a man and woman dance often. It's and it happens everywhere at work and in your personal life. So today I want to talk to you about you know a misunderstanding. I want to say that I see all the time, and it's important enough to talk about it just because it's important. Because you ladies will miss the boat on this if you don't pay attention, if you don't get it. So, in a nutshell, you know, everybody in our culture who's dating is looking for the perfect mate, right? Men are looking for lovely feminine women who are young, attractive, and fertile, right? Genetically, that's what men look for: fertility, youth, beauty. Those are normal things, the same way that you ladies are attracted to wealth and power and resources. That's not gold digging, it's nature, and his is not shallow, it's nature. So let's stop fighting nature, understand nature, go with nature, understand how that works and why. And that's but one of the things that I see a lot is ladies have themselves in our culture comes at me all the time. Some of you come up with the idea that you're going to vet the guy, right? You're going to figure out he's got to be this tall, this much money, this kind of lifestyle, 6 foot, six pack, six figure, right? That's kind of so freaking ridiculous because a guy like this is going to have more options than God, and those guys typically do not have to settle with anybody. So you all want the same guy, and the same guy that wants none of that, or surely doesn't want to necessarily commit to one woman. He has too many options because everybody's after him, right? 80% of women are after the 10% of men. Interesting, but not really. In that case, this is what I'm saying. So if you think that you are picking the man and you choose, it's on you to pick the man. I'm here to tell you, you don't. And I'll tell you a story about that was devastating to one of my clients. Um, Understand this, right? Women control access to sex. We all know this. Men know this. Unless you say yes, nothing's happening, right? So women control access to sex. But ladies, you have to understand this. Don't fool yourselves and don't wait too long to pay attention to this. Men control access to the relationship. Men control access to the relationship. What I mean by that is, unless he picks you, you're getting nothing. You're going nowhere. Right? Now you have to be careful because there's two ways that men pick you. They pick you to play with or they pick you to build with. Good men want to build with. They want number two. But if you're going to throw yourself at him thinking that you pick him and you're going to seduce him, right? If you going after him will have you absolutely getting your way, absolutely getting attention, absolutely getting laid, right? But you don't get his heart. You're going to fall into the play with category. Danger number one, right? He controls access to the relationship. You don't. He has to say, this is a valuable woman. I want to get to know her better. I want to date her, and if you turn out to be what he's looking for as far as support system, it's a whole different story. But men will support their women in life, but they don't just do it because you're a woman. They don't just do it because you have a vagina, right? So women think that's why I got a vagina, like that's what he wants. Well, vagina is cheap and it's everywhere online, so that's not it. If you just bring your vagina, he ain't gonna pick you. It's even if he wants to build with a woman, he needs you to support him in the way that a man needs to be supported in a relationship for him to do his part. He'll support you if you support him. So again, he chooses. You see what I'm saying? He chooses. He chooses. And if you pick him and you think you should, I'll tell you a story. This is a horrible story of one of my clients. She's tall, she's thin, she's beautiful. She's trained like a man to be a man by her father. She has two brothers, and she's a jogger. She's a tennis player. She's blah blah blah. She runs 10 miles or 3 miles every day. I don't care. My point is, the way she was raised was to compete with men, be with men, be in the world like men, fight with men, make money with men. But beautiful girl, very very masculine paradigm. And so in that, her sense of importance, and this is what I want you to pay attention to. Like she feels she's so superior, important. She's so unique and special and beautiful, which she is, right? She believes that she's the one. She believed that she's the one who's going to decide who should be with her. Here's the mistake. Are you ready? So there was this man that she knew that she used to work for a few years back, and kind of tripped on each other over social media. They started reconnecting, and she's like, "Oh my God, he's perfect. I know his family. I know his character. He's stable. He's tall, six pack. He makes money, right?" And she decided was gonna. She's the one that she wanted. So this is the guy. He matches her physically, intellectually, financially, family value. She picked him, and for 4 months she tried to get him to pick her, thinking like, "I'm so beautiful. He's just gonna fall all over this." That's not how it works. He did not like her. For whatever reason, and I'm gonna tell you the reason is she was too masculine for any men to deal with, even though she had everything. Right? Masculine men won't deal with that. So sorry, ladies. It's not my opinion. It's the work. It's the data. Right? Masculine men don't deal with masculine women. So her leaning into him, decided that he's the one. She picked him. You know what I mean? And you just got to come around and like just got to come around and accept that because she's that valuable. He tortured her for 4 months. And what I mean by that is like kind of like didn't know what to do with her coming at him, and she even made her way all the way to his apartment one time, and he wasn't moving fast enough. He wasn't moving at all. He didn't like her. He didn't freaking like her. But she decided that he was the one, right? So all the way to driving to his apartment, and he had no plans for dinner because she forced herself in a situation. He didn't ask her. She's like, "I should come over." Oh, okay, right? She's the one doing all the work, all the hunting. She showed up to the apartment. There's no food. There's no dinner. There's no plan. So they went out to eat. They went out to eat, and even at dinner, she's like, "He's just talking about anything but anything. Like he's not interested in me." I'm like, "He was never interested in you. You made all that up. He decided to." Anyway, long story short, they end up going back to his place that night after dinner. Her idea again because he wasn't saying anything. See, driving by the nose, masculine. Um, Got to his apartment, and at one point, he was just again talking about anything and everything, and she was frustrated because she's like, "I'm right here, beautiful woman. Do something." So she again leaned in and kissed him, and she said he stopped talking when he kissed her. Right? Pulled back, looked at her, and then continued talking like he nothing had happened. And she's like, "What the hell is wrong with this guy?" Nothing's wrong with that guy. Masculine men don't respond to masculine women. You can't make him do anything. You can't force him into anything. You can't talk him into anything. And again, she chose him. He did not choose her. She was heartbroken, right? Now she thinks there's something wrong with her. He has to pick you. So you have to be careful how you disqualify men that come towards you, right? The idea of he has to be everything that you decided on paper that he should be, that you deserve that, it's a little bit dangerous. It's a little bit dangerous. You know, you have to understand the true nature of man, and the men who want commitment in marriage and children and family, but surely commitment, right? And to take on a woman in the world, a man needs to feel supported in the ways men need to feel supported by women in order to step up. If it's all about you and you think he owes you because you're pretty and you're young, this is why it's not working. And if you go after him, you'll get played with, but you never get the commitment. I hope that makes sense. It's very easy to understand. It's very logical. Men are very clear on this instinctually, instinctively. You know, you can't make a man do anything. He's going to decide what he wants to do, who he wants to date, how he wants to do it. Period. So for you to try to manipulate that, like my client, it's opening up a lot of hurt for you. And understand that's just not how it works. You don't pick him; he has to pick you. So who do you have to be for a man to go, "Wow, her"? And it's not your beauty necessarily and your youth. It's what you bring to his life that he doesn't. Right? How do you support him in his life for him to support his life's purpose? A good man always has a purpose and a big plan in life. Hope that makes sense. I'll give you some more. I'm gonna do this about every. I'm planning on doing this daily to give you some to drip on you basically the stuff that my clients are challenged with on a regular basis. It's confusing, but it's really not. Just understanding what is, what isn't, what works, what doesn't work, man, women, nature. That's all I'm teaching. Nature with science and psychology. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, y'all. Ta-da!